Philadelphia Eagles fans, we are only 2 days away from the 2024 NFL Draft. And in today's episode, we're going to do my final mock draft for the Birds for this draft season. It's been a lot of fun doing these mock drafts with you guys. If you could do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're getting closer and closer to 5,000 subs. It's all because of you guys. I really appreciate you tuning in. So what we're going to do for the first round, we're going to kind of watch how the board falls. And if we're in a position of strength, we're going to move up and get a guy like Quinyon Mitchell. Maybe in like that 14 to 18 range. We'll see how the board falls and see if we want to stay at 22 or potentially move up. All right, here we go, guys. This is my last mock draft before the NFL draft this Thursday. Let's do it. All right, Eagles fans, I just simulated the first 11 picks for the 2024 draft. And unfortunately, Quinyon Mitchell went number 8 to the Falcons. I think the best course of action is just to stick at 22. We'll see what the board looks like. Let's do it. The Eagles are on the board at pick 22. If you see who's left on the board at 22, Nate Wiggins is available. Kool-Aid McKinstry. What would you guys do in the first round? Graham Barton is a very flexible tackle from Duke who can also play guard. I don't think they're going to take any of these guys in the first round. The only first round pick I see on the board really for me is Amarius Mims. He's so talented, man. 75 grade this year. He hasn't played a ton of games and a ton of snaps in college, but he's given up 0 sacks in his time there. And he's really, really young. 21 and a half. He's 6'7", 340 pounds, and he has some of the most impressive measurables in this entire draft. Check out his measurables. 85th percentile in broad jump, 91 in height, 94 in weight, wingspan 97, which is so important. Hand size and arm length, although so important for a tackle in the NFL. Look at these arms, man. 36 and 1/8 inch arms, wingspan 86 and 3/4 of an inch, 97th percentile in wingspan, 95th percentile in arm length. They are so important in keeping those guys away from the line of scrimmage and away from your quarterback. I love Mims. If I'm an Eagles fan and Mims is on the board, you gotta get him. You gotta get him. Howie Roseman's gotta get a guy like Mims. I love this pick. Mims to the Eagles in round 1. I think getting Mims in the first round for the Eagles is best case scenario. We didn't have to give up either of our second round picks, and we get a guy who can be a potential right tackle or even left tackle in the future. He'll probably be Lane Johnson's replacement at right tackle, in my opinion, but we will see what happens as the years go on. The Eagles have picks 50 and picks 53 in the second round. This is great. There's some really interesting players on the board. Brandon Fiske, the interior defensive lineman, is a very interesting pick. And I love TJ Tampa. I really, really do. Edgerrin Cooper is still on the board. Malachi Corley, the wide receiver, is a really good player too. But for me, I'm taking the corner first. There's not a lot of really good corners left. TJ Tampa has amazing size. 75 grade this year, 83 grade last year, 3 interceptions in the last few seasons. He's just a really good player. He's a very good tackler, 6'2", 200 pounds. He's really good in the run game. I love him against the run. It says 66 grade, but I don't believe that at all whatsoever. I watched the tape. He's able to come up and make plays in the run game. He's a sure tackler. He lays the wood, man. He's a really good player. I love his size. I like this pick for the Eagles at pick 50. Now, pick 53. I've made this pick 5,000 times, and I will make it 5,000 times again. Edgerrin Cooper is my guy. He's a great off-ball linebacker. He can blitz the quarterback. He can stop the run. He's just as good dropping back into coverage, covering those running backs and tight ends, slot receivers sometimes if he has to. But Vic Fangio's 3-4 scheme needs really good off-ball linebackers that can do a bunch of different things really well, and Edgerrin Cooper is this guy. I just don't see how the Eagles don't end up drafting him at pick 53 in this draft. All right, now, the Eagles are on the clock in the 4th round. That's right. The Eagles do not have a 3rd round pick, which stinks because the 3rd round, there's a bunch of really good players. Great value in the 3rd round, in my opinion. Pick 120. I'm scanning the board. I'm seeing what's here. I do like Trevor Keegan, the guard from Michigan. He's a good player. I do like some of these other guys down here, like Jordan McGee, the linebacker from Temple. He's a really good player. If you have time, go watch his tape. I do like Muhammad Kamara, the edge defender from Colorado, too. He's a really good player. To get this late in the draft, the guy had 14 sacks last year, man. He's someone who's definitely on my radar for potential picks for the Eagles at some point in the draft. But I think this pick is too good to give up, and I don't think he's going to be here at pick 161 when we pick again. His name's Audric Estime, 94 overall grade last year for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. He just takes over games, man. He really does. That elusive rating at 126.5, he's just really good everywhere. He doesn't catch the ball a lot out of the backfield, but he's a bigger guy, 5'11", 227. He's kind of a goal line type of back, big, powerful, strong, explosive. For me, Audric Estime is a great complement to Saquon Barkley, and he's a great goal line back too. Add that to the tush push, and defenses won't know what to expect on the goal line, so the Eagles can get a little more efficient in the red zone. He's just a great running back, man. He's got excellent size at over 220 pounds. I like this pick in the third round. People might say I'm stretching a little bit, but to get this type of talent this early in the draft, and you got to remember, most running backs, like Miles Sanders, he didn't get that second contract with the Eagles, man. So a lot of these running backs, they're going to do their 4 years and sign somewhere else. Saquon Barkley has a 3-year deal, but pretty much the money's only guaranteed for 2, so this is a great addition to this running back room because Kenny Gainwell is not the guy to be the complement to Barkley. I like this pick. Now, they're up in the 5th round. They have picks 161, 171, and 172. So the Eagles got to do some damage in the 5th round, man. We got to get some good guys that can play some positions of need for us. And one guy I really like is the Camarion Richardson, the cornerback from Mississippi State. Overall grade 86.4. He's just a really good player, man. I really like him. Coverage grade 86. Man grade is good, not great at 72. He's good in zone 2. And at 6'2", 195 pounds, he's got really good size. I like the size. Camarion Richardson is the corner that's going to be added to this room because, let's be honest, Darius Slay, Bradbury's probably not going to be a starter this year. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he gets cut in camp. We'll see what happens. Now, pick 171 for the Birds. We got to crush these picks. And I made this pick in one of my earlier mock drafts, and I love J.D. Bertrand, the linebacker from Notre Dame, right? Edgerrin Cooper is an off-ball linebacker. He's going to be on one of the outside linebackers position because remember, there's 4 of them, 2 outside guys, 2 inside guys. So we need a general in the middle of the field. And that's who J.D. Bertrand is. He can play in both schemes, 3-4, 4-3. He can be the middle linebacker in all of those looks. To me, if we draft him, he has a chance to be a day 1 starter for the Birds. 6'1", 233. See, look, 13% think that he's going to go to the Eagles, one of the bigger numbers there. And he's really smart player. He's a cerebral player. He's really good at anticipating what's going to come at him pre-snap. I just really love this player, and if the Eagles can get him, I'm all for it. J.D. Bertrand, he was a general on that Fighting Irish defense, and I want him to be the general for the Birds in the 5th round. We got a good player. You really build up your teams in the 5th, 6th, and 7th rounds. You give some depth to the positions of need. And to me, it's between Bo Limmer, the center, and Javon Foster. I just think having a tackle with a lot of upside like Javon Foster, you can't really pass up at this point in the draft. This is pretty much a 6th round pick. 80 grades all 3 years. He only gave up 1 sack and over 900 snaps this year. 85 run block grade, pass block grade 80. He can play tackle and guard in my opinion, and he can be that backup. So he'll be a backup probably when Mims takes over for Lane Johnson in a couple years from now. And Javon Foster at 6'5", 319. I think he can play guard. He can play both tackle positions. He's 24. He's a little older, so he's got a lot of experience. I love this pick for the Birds at pick 172. And now the Eagles' final pick in the draft. We don't have a 7th round pick either. This is pick 210 in round 6. So to me, when you're scanning who's left, who you could potentially add, I would like to add a wide receiver at this point in the draft. I drafted him to the Eagles before Joshua Cephas, 85 grade. This guy was really good. Almost 90 catches last year, over 1,100 yards, 88.2 receiving grade. He's a really good player and a 1.1% drop rate. This might be a little bit of a reach in the 6th round, but Josh Cephas is just so incredibly talented. When a team is throwing you the ball 121 times in a season, you're the go-to guy. You're the man. 89 receptions. He played in the slot and out wide. That 1% drop rate, 1 drop all year. I love this value in the 6th round, and he could potentially be maybe that number 3 starter for the Eagles and Kellen Moore's new offense. All right, Eagles fans, I hope you enjoyed my final mock draft of the 2024 season. That's it for me. I think that if the Eagles get this kind of haul on draft day, Eagles fans are going to be stoked. Mims, Tampa, Cooper, Estime, Richardson, and then I love the last 3 picks in the draft. J.D. Bertrand, Javon Foster, Josh Cephas. I love those picks, man. We got a lot of depth on the offensive line. We added a really good running back. We got some corners. This is how we build this team. From the ground up, we need cornerbacks bad. That room is not very good. So I'm really excited about this draft. And I think Edgerrin Cooper could be a real possibility. And if Mims is on the board, you got to take him. Howie's got to take him. We'll see if Howie works his magic and moves up. He always moves up, so I would probably suggest that Howie is going to move up. If there are any prop bets about the Eagles moving up in the draft, I take that prop bet all day. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm doing a live stream for the NFL draft, so make sure you tune into that. All right, we'll catch up with you guys on the next video. Peace.